Wild card weekend also had some wild coaches leaving their teams. Let's get into that right now. Welcome everybody to Top Dog Coverage. It's your boy Dirty, of course, with the number one guy of the Dream Bowl over here, C Dub. C Dub has been on a mission, and he just came back from the Dream Bowl. You put in a lot of work this year. I want to ask you. Let's go to that first before we dive into everything. The myth, the man, the legend, C Dub, man. Like, how was the Dream Bowl, dude?
What's up? What's up? Dream Bowl was amazing. It was the 14th iteration of the game. So it was Dream Bowl XIV. Got to play at the prestigious AT&T Stadium, so home of the Dallas Cowboys. But it was absolutely incredible. We had a great game. It was a 39-30 Crusaders victory. A lot of talent in the game. We had guys from all over, from FBS, SEC to D2, D3 guys. And it was just it was a great week. It started on Wednesday, everything ended on Sunday. And there's a lot that goes into these All-Star games, especially behind the scenes. Because with the Dream Bowl, they do it a little bit differently. So essentially, with the Dream Bowl, we have the players come in, do their check-ins on Thursday, go through all their measurements. So we get their height, weight, wingspan, hand measurements. Some of them do the time 40 and whatnot. Some of them don't. And then Friday night, we actually do a banquet for the players and their families, where we do the basically we announce their jersey numbers and the personalized jerseys that they get. So they walk up on stage, we announce their name, they come pick up the jersey. So everything's great, and they have small practices. So we did 2 on Thursday. We actually did 4 on Friday, and then a set of practices on Saturday for both teams. And then we did a full tour of the AT&T Stadium. So the AT&T folks walked us through the entire stadium, showed us behind the scenes, press box, all of the crazy stuff behind the scenes at the stadium. And then Sunday was game day. Sunday was the day that we all led up to it, and it was great. Kickoff was at 12 on ESPN Plus. So if anybody wants to rewatch the game or check out some of the players, it is on ESPN Plus. But it was an absolutely incredible experience, man.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, and I got to turn on ESPN Plus, and you're even running the chain gang, man. Like you were on everything, dude. You were on
Yeah,
everything.
I was part of the chain gang, so you know, shout out to my guys, Grant, and Jarrett. Those were two guys helping me hold it down and make sure that everybody knew what yard line and what down it was. So
Nice. Yeah, so if you guys are not familiar with the Dream Bowl at all, get familiar with it because just like the Senior Bowl, it brings a lot of talent. Okay, there's a lot of different players that people don't know about. There's gems in there just waiting to be found. And you and I have talked about one or two that you said did an absolute amazing job, just taking the bull by the horns in these games and just showcasing their abilities.
yeah, absolutely. And you gotta remember, like, it's on a short time frame. So these guys get in, most of them don't know each other, and they mesh well. I mean, we got two great coaching staffs that came in and put a short, small plan together. But some of these guys really showed out, and we put it on for the scouts that came out and see. We had a lot of teams that hadn't been there before, so it was great for them
So
too.
So if you guys have not looked up the Dream Bowl, look up the Dream Bowl. It was hosted at AT&T Stadium this year. Good old Jerry's World. So that's where some of these teams are getting talent too. So those scouts are over there, they're waiting. So you're not always just going to get them in these places that everybody thinks they're going to get them. It takes hardworking people like C Dub to scout out these guys and to just get stuff done. So, but with that, hopefully, everybody has had a really, really good weekend. Wild card weekend was a wild weekend. And if you have not yet, please follow us at Top Dog Coverage on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Swipe up on Apple and Spotify. Make sure you guys leave a comment. and hit the 5 stars. Okay, let us know. But I'd be remiss if we just didn't get into some news, because there's a lot of news to get into. Is there not, my friend?
Yeah, we got a lot to cover, so let's jump into it.
Yes. Yeah. Let's jump into it for sure. Time for the news, baby. All right. This news is brought to you by Norse-Hall.com. If you guys want some hot sauce, make sure that you guys go to Norse-Hall.com. They are a proud sponsor of the show. They have their famous hot sauce based out of West Virginia, and they also have some mead, M-E-A-D, which is a honey wine that the Vikings used to drink back in the day. So make sure you go to Norse-Hall.com. Would you like to start, sir, or do you want me to start?
Yeah, let's go to the NFC SAD. Let's do that. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So the Buccaneers have fired offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard. So I expected the Buccaneers will have another new offensive coordinator for the 2026 season. Josh Grizzard is out after one season, as first reported by Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo of NFL Network. So head coach Todd Bowles will remain in place for a fifth season at the helm of Tampa Bay. Changes at the OC spot were recently named as something to watch for, though. Today's news confirms the Bucs will have a fifth new offensive coordinator in as many years. Quarterbacks coach Thad Lewis is also being let go. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler adds he had been in place for each of Baker Mayfield's 3 Buccaneers seasons. For much of last year's hiring cycle, it appeared as though Liam Cohen would stay with the Buccaneers. He ultimately landed the Jaguars head coaching gig, however, which created another OC vacancy in Tampa. Grizzard was promoted to the role, having spent the 2024 campaign as the team's passing game coordinator. Expectations were high based on the familiarity in Grizzard's case, but especially late in the season, things did not go as planned for Tampa Bay.
Well, let's stay on that note of getting rid of people, because that, Kingsbury had to leave for this gentleman. Not Kingsbury. Who is the old offensive coordinator there?
You're talking about Cohen? Liam Cohen?
Well, that's right. So he had to go into there. But sorry, I wanted to go down to Miami Beach. Sorry.
Yeah.
Dolphins
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. That was all me. So the Dolphins are actually firing head coach Mike McDaniel. So the uncertainty surrounding Mike McDaniel's status has ended, and Miami has elected to move in a new direction with respect to the head coaching spot. So Mike McDaniel has been fired, according to Adam Schefter. This ends his 4-year run leading the team and creates an 8th head coaching vacancy around the league. Signs pointed toward McDaniel staying in the days following the regular season, but that will not be the case. McDaniel was caught off guard by this decision. I don't know why, but he was. After careful evaluation and extensive discussion since the season ended, I have made the decision that our organization is indeed of comprehensive change from owner Stephen Ross. And I am informed Mike McDaniel is this morning that he has been relieved of his duties as a head coach. But with that as well, the Dolphins hired. So the fire and the hire, the Dolphins were known to be nearing a hire for their general manager position. So the process of finding Chris Grier's replacement is now complete. So Miami is hiring John Eric Sullivan to fill the GM role. As first reported by Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, Sullivan was among the 4 finalists for the position and loomed as a strong candidate to get the nod. Now his attention will turn to playing a key role in the Dolphins' head coaching search. This move represents the first time Sullivan will hold a position outside of Green Bay. The former Packers intern spent more than 2 decades with the franchise, working his way through the ranks of both the scouting and personnel departments. Sullivan was promoted to VP of Player Personnel in 2022, and he regularly found himself on the radar of teams seeking a new GM during his recent hiring cycles. Troy Aikman, brought in as a consultant for his search, was Sullivan's top supporter, according to Diana Rossini of The Athletics. So I do want to throw this out there. You remember when we were talking about Harbaugh getting, the separation between them, and I said that I thought Miami would be calling them, right? And then right after that, this is when this happens. We just haven't been on to talk about this, but a lot of vacancies this year. A lot of vacancies.
Yeah, and I believe Harbaugh is also scheduled to interview with the Giants as well, which is a team that I threw out there. So
Yes, sir.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The Harbaugh sweepstakes. But let me go back to the AFC South. Let's go to the Falcons. The Falcons have hired Matt Ryan as president of football. So longtime Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan is returning to Atlanta in a key front office role. The Falcons announced that they have hired Ryan as their president of football. So the Falcons created the position for Ryan, one of the greatest players in their franchise history. Ryan originally joined the Falcons as the third overall pick in the 2008 draft. The Boston College product quarterbacked the team through 2021 and made 4 Pro Bowls. During an MVP winning season in 2016, Ryan led the Falcons to a Super Bowl bid. After a gut-wrenching loss to the Patriots, the Falcons rebounded to earn a playoff berth again in 2017 for the 6th and final time in the Ryan era. They have not gone back to the postseason since then, failing to reach the playoffs in 5 years under general manager Terry Fontenot. In 2 seasons under head coach Raheem Morris led owner Arthur Blank to move on from the pair a week ago. So in a statement announcing his hiring, Ryan said, "Arthur gave me the chance of a lifetime almost 20 years ago, and he's done it again today. While I appreciate the time I had with the Colts and with CBS, I've always been a Falcon. It feels great to be home. I could not be more excited, grateful, or humbled by this new opportunity. I began my career with a singular goal to do right by the Blank family, the Falcons organization, the city of Atlanta, and especially our fans. My commitment to the success of this franchise has not changed. I'm beyond ready to help write a new chapter of excellence."
You know, that right there, I don't know. It just deserves a little something, baby. This is a man right here that he came from
5-point lead in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he went on TV. He was a commentator, and now he's just he continues to excel in the NFL in so many different ways. So he deserves the applaud, the bow, the praise, and he's always been.
He was a really great player for sure.
Yeah.
But
Ice.
Since he's taken over as the Falcons' top football executive, he's going to hold the final decision-making authority on everything, and he's immediately going to get to work on hiring a new GM and head coach. So.
My man has seen it all too, because I'm pretty sure he has you know what I mean? You want a fresh mind like that in there. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, let me go over to the NFC West, where 49ers George Kittle unfortunately suffers a torn Achilles late in the first half of the 49ers wildcard matchup with the Eagles. Tight end George Kittle went down with a non-contact injury and was carted off the field. Instant replays of the injury made speculation all but certain, and the team confirmed shortly after, according to Diana Rossini of The Athletic, that Kittle had officially torn his Achilles tendon. Kittle's 2025 campaign was already a difficult one as he dealt with multiple injuries as it comes to an early end. That end threatens to ruin his 2026 season as well. Coming fresh off of a 4-year, $76.4 million offseason extension, Kittle hit the ground running in the team's season opener, quickly scoring San Francisco's first touchdown of the year in the third quarter of the game. Though Kittle left with a hamstring injury and would miss the next 5 games on injured reserve with hamstring injury. So upon being activated from IR in Week 7, Kittle quickly returned to form, really catching fire from Week 10 on. His momentum hit a slight speed bump when an ankle injury disrupted a dominant performance in Indianapolis and forced him to sit out for the 49ers game of the regular season. He was able to return for a Week 18 home loss to the Seattle Seahawks and looked primed to help his offense into the postseason. And now he's in the postseason, and unfortunately, this is what happens. So we hope a speedy recovery happens for 49ers, George Kittle, and can't really say much else. You feel bad. You don't like these things to happen, especially to somebody who's as passionate as he is. So
yeah, did you hear about the little locker room story after he got hurt? So when he got to the locker room, they told him everything that happened, and they asked him if he needed anything, and he said tequila. So then the owner of the Niners sent a full bottle of tequila down to the locker room for him to drink, and he finished the bottle in the locker room.
That's a wild man.
Yeah, impressive, right?
That is it. That is a wild man right there.
Crazy, but prayers out to him. Hopefully he recovers quickly and you can come back stronger than ever. So, but let's go to the AFC West. The Chargers have fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman. So Greg Roman's second year with the Chargers has proven to be his last. The veteran offensive coordinator has been fired, as first reported by Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, and Mike Garafolo of NFL Network. The team has since confirmed the news. This represents a split between Roman and head coach Jim Harbaugh. The two worked together at Stanford from 2009 to 2010, with the Niners from 2011 to 2014, and then again during Harbaugh's time with the Chargers. The 2026 season will represent Harbaugh's first in the NFL without Roman as his offensive coordinator. So Los Angeles has reached the playoffs in each of his past 2 years. That illustrates the successful turnaround seen under Harbaugh and the team's new front office. The performance it's seen on offense during the wildcard round has left plenty to be desired. However, between last season's loss to the Texans and the defeat against the Patriots from this weekend, Roman's unit has managed just 15 total playoff points.
Well, something had to happen, man. It wasn't working, and we'll see where that goes. I mean, that's really hard to let go of somebody that has always been your offensive coordinator. You and I were talking earlier, and I didn't know that fact, but yeah, that's
well, I'd be remiss if I didn't announce, their offensive line had so many injuries. They're on their fourth and fifth string tackles. The interior line play was just awful. If you look at the PFF grades, they were last in the leagues. I mean, he didn't really have too much to work with. I mean, that Harbaugh wants to have a strong offensive line, run the ball, control the game, and they just were able to do that. And Herbert was just getting obliterated on every play, every drop back. It was just it was tough to see, and unfortunately, due to the offensive line injuries, Roman had to go. So
yeah. Well, let me talk about another separation as Mike Tomlin resigns as the Steelers head coach. So Mike Tomlin's 19-year Steelers coach run will come to an end following the team's wild card loss to the Texans. So the Pittsburgh icon informed his team he is stepping down, according to Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler. This marks a sea change offseason in the AFC North. Tomlin and John Harbaugh entered 2026 as the NFL's longest tenured head coaches. Now both are out of jobs. 3 of the division teams, also including the Browns, are looking for leaders. 9 head coaching positions are now available around the league. Harbaugh is the biggest fish available. It is not fully known if Tomlin wants to enter the pool. This was not a firing, Schefter added during a Sports Center appearance, noting this had been on Tomlin's mind since before the season. A report last week indicated Tomlin had an open invitation for a TV gig should he step aside in Pittsburgh, and veteran insider Jordan Schultz notes that it is expected that the path for the Pennsylvania staple will take maybe another avenue. So like Bill Cowher in 2007, Tomlin will be expected to enter the media realm. So Cowher ultimately never returned to coaching, but Schultz points to Tomlin eventually being part of the 2027 head coach carousel. This would move him down a Sean Payton or Bruce Arians-like path if Tomlin pursues TV. The Athletic's Andrew Marchand reported on CBS, Fox, ESPN, and NBC will have interest in him. So we'll see where he goes. I mean, he is a very well-spoken guy when you listen to his interviews and such like that. So I can see him sounded really good. Maybe commentating, maybe not, maybe maybe up in the booth, maybe down in the field. You never know.
Yeah, I mean he's got options, and maybe he stays away from football for a year and spends time with his family. I mean, it's been, you said, 19 seasons. I mean, that's a long time to be with an organization, and maybe he just needs a quick break, and we'll see. But
yeah, that's a lot of football.
Yep. But let's go to the last the firings that I'm aware of. But the Eagles fans rejoice. Eagles have removed Kevin Patullo from the offensive coordinator role. So another offseason, another Eagles OC change. After an inconsistent season, Philadelphia is moving on from OC Kevin Patullo, ESPN's Adam Schefter reports. After a wild card loss to a shorthanded 49ers team, it is certainly not surprising the Eagles are making another change. This marks the second time in 3 off seasons Nick Sirianni has pulled the plug on an offensive coordinator. Patullo, though, has been with Sirianni since their days in Indianapolis. Promoted to OC in 2025, Patullo struggled to lead an offense with considerable talent. Sirianni may not be ready to remove Patullo from his staff entirely, however. It is possible the assistant stays on staff in a different role. NFL.com's Mike Garafolo adds, it is not certain that this will happen, but Garafolo noting talks are upcoming about Sirianni and Patullo staying together. Patullo has coached with Sirianni since Frank Reich's 2018 arrival in Indianapolis. And this is what Sirianni said. I've decided to make a change at offensive coordinator. This is via the Athletics' Zach Berman. I met with Kevin today to discuss the difficult decision, as he is a great coach who has my utmost respect. He has been integral to this team's success over the last 5 years, not only to the on-field product, but behind the scenes as a valued leader for our players and organization. I have no doubt he will continue to have a successful coaching career.
Yeah. A lot of openings here, man. A lot of openings.
Yeah, what's crazy is it's going to be their 5th time changing office coordinators, and I believe internet can check me on this, but I believe Jalen Hurts has had a different play caller every single year of his career since college.
That's pretty wild.
Every single year he has to learn a new offense, which is crazy. I mean, it's just
it's a little bit much. That's a ton to learn every single week. Just trying to get everything on the board. But so that is, I mean, that's the news. That's all we got today. I don't want to say that's all we got. It's 20 minutes of news, but
it's a lot of news.
Yeah, it's a lot of news. So let's get into the fun part. Let's get into what happened over this past weekend. Starting with some Rams and Panthers. And this is the rematch, right? The Rams going back over to Carolina, but this time taking a 34-31 win. I was really hoping that they would come back with vengeance, but the Panthers still didn't make it easy. So the Los Angeles Rams went over there, took a 34-31 win in Carolina. Matthew Stafford went 24 for 42, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a interception and a sack. But they were able to get the ball moving on the ground. Puka Nacua actually had a rushing touchdown. He went 3 for 14 on the ground. But Kyren Williams, 13 for 57. Blake Corum, 11 for 45. And 18 targets to Puka Nacua. They could not stop this man. 10 receptions for 11 yards. 10 receptions for 111 yards and a touchdown. 13 targets going to Devontae Adams, and he only got 5 for 72 out of that. But 2 other touchdowns, Colby Parkinson catching a touchdown, going 2 for 34, and Kyren Williams going 2 for 18 and a touchdown over there. So 3 touchdowns in the air. But Troy Reeder ended up recovering one of the fumbles that had happened. But on the Los Angeles,
this was Devontae Adams' first game back, though, right?
Yes,
it was. Injury?
Yep, it certainly was.
I mean, it's good to see. I mean, coming out there getting 13 targets. Obviously, he didn't convert all of them, but I mean, it's good to see him going out there, being able to finish the game and not re-injuring the hamstring. So that's huge for that offense.
He had a crucial drop too. They really needed something to be a little bit easier, but I would say that Kobe Durant was able to get an interception in this game, which really helped. You know what I mean? Because Mike Jackson on the other side also had an interception on Matthew Stafford, but and Trevor Etienne ended up getting a fumble off of Matthew Stafford as well. But Bryce Young, 21 for 40, not his best work, but 264 yards, a touchdown, an interception, sacked twice. And Chuba Hubbard, 13 for 46 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Bryce Young, 3 for 24 and a touchdown. And Rico Dowdle only carried the ball 5 times for 9 yards. They did
His
not
fall off needs to be studied.
Yeah, this something was going on. But let me tell you, Jalen Coker, 12 targets, 9 receptions, 134 yards and a touchdown. He looked phenomenal. Everybody in fantasy football, if you picked him up, you're golden with him. 7 targets, 5 receptions, and 81 yards for Teteroa McMillan. and Tommy Tremble catching all 3 of his targets for 22 yards. So they're trying to pass the ball around as much as they could. And this defense, able to get only 1 sack and 6 QB hits and 2 tackles for a loss on Stafford and company. But it wasn't really, you know, it was more scoring than anything. So the defenses weren't holding as much as people had thought they would. Knowing that the Rams only had 2 sacks and 3 tackles for a loss and 8 QB hits. So it really turned back into the game that it was, and that's kind of what had happened. The game, it was a great rematch. I will say that. It just flipped to the other side. That's all.
Yeah, and I think the Rams, I mean, they were trying to get the ball out so fast that Stafford wasn't even giving them a chance to touch him, really.
Yeah, no, not at all, man. It's but the Rams move on, so the Rams will move on, and it's going to be tough sledding from here on out.
Yeah, and so let's go to another one that was actually the third meeting between these two teams.
Yeah, it was.
The Chicago Bears hosting the Green Bay Packers and winning in miraculous fashion, 31-27. And this is considering that they were down 21-3 at halftime. So is this like the second greatest comeback in playoff history?
Probably, yeah.
One will tell. So I'll start with the winning side. But Caleb Williams went 24 for 48, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, was sacked 1 time. I mean, he had some incredible throws on the move. And again, that's his superpower. When he gets outside the pocket and he can just throw a perfect pass or at any point on the field. So it's great to see Caleb continue to shine. But the Chicago rushing game, they went 28 for 93. Bulk of the carries coming for DeAndre Swift. He was 13 for 54 and a touchdown. Kyle Monangai was 8 for 27, and Caleb was 4 for 20. Receiving game, it was the Colson Loveland show. He is by far and away Caleb Williams' favorite target. He had 15 targets, 8 catches, 137 yards. DJ Moore with 7 targets, 6 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. Roma Dunze collected 6 targets, only 2 catches, 44 yards. And then Luther Burden III, another rookie really shining here in this past month. 7 targets, 3 catches for 42 yards. And quite a few other players caught some passes. There was 1 fumble from Caleb Williams, but left tackle Ozzie Trapillo recovered it. And the Chicago defense really just could not get after Jordan Love. I mean, they had 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 7 pass deflections, and only 8 quarterback hits. Yeah. With this next stat line, I'll cover the Green Bay Packers, but you don't really see a team with this stat line lose too many games. Jordan Love was 24 for 46, 323 yards, and 4 touchdowns. No interceptions, was sacked only that 1 time. Incredible performance from Jordan Love. It just wasn't quite enough. And then he did actually end up fumbling and recovering it, but you got a lot of fumbles in this game from Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, Darian Kennard. So a lot of people fumbling the ball. It's pretty crazy. And the Green Bay rushing game, Josh Jacobs did not have a good day. 19 carries for 55 yards, and a few other players got a carry. But as a team, they went 23 for 99, which going to this, trying to end the game when you're up by that much, if you have no running game, you're always going to keep the other team in play. So in terms of receiving, you had Romeo Doubs. He had 11 targets, 8 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Matthew Golden, 5 targets, 4 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Jaden Reed, 7 targets, 4 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. And then Christian Watson continues to perform. 7 targets, 3 catches, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Of note, I do want to say Matthew Golden, that is his first NFL touchdown. So congrats to Mr. Golden. Yes, sir. Texas Longhorn legend, Matthew Golden, by the way. And
I'm catching on here, okay?
Yeah, and this defense, the Green Bay defense, went to Caleb 1 time, 1 sack, 3 tackles for losses, 9 pass deflections, 9 quarterback hits. They did intercept Caleb twice, 1 from Tyron Hopper and then 1 from Carrington Valentine. But incredible game. Brandon McManus was 0 for 2 in the field goal game and 3 for 4 on extra points. But yeah, what a game! An amazing miraculous comeback, and Bears move on. Shouts out to the Chicago.
Bears move on indeed. Let's go down to the Jacksonville Jaguars, where they hosted the Buffalo Bills, the number 6 seed Buffalo Bills, which you don't hear a lot. Okay, you don't hear the 6 seed brought right next to the Buffalo Bills, but this one had a lot going on in here. Okay, I'll go over the stats real quick, but let me just tell you something before we get into this. Josh Allen was getting pummeled in this game. That Jacksonville defense was no joke. They did not let Josh Allen get comfortable. Josh Allen had to make things happen. He had to start using his legs. He had to start doing things. And they were losing players in this game. But let's get into it. So Josh Allen went 28 for 35, 273, and a touchdown, and was sacked once. They could not run the ball very efficient. Even though James Cook went 15 for 46, Josh Allen went 11 for 33 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. But Khalil Shakir hauling in all 12 of his targets for 82 yards. That is really hard to do, to haul in all 82 of your targets, or all 12 of your targets. 82 targets, I swear to God. No.
Oh my God.
But yeah, 5 targets going to Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks looked really good in this game. 3 receptions for 58 yards, but the touchdown went to Dalton Kincaid, 3 for 28 and a touchdown there. But Ray Davis ended up fumbling and losing the ball on a kick return. And let me tell you, he got hit. He got hit pretty hard. I believe he was out for the rest of the game. I could be mistaken on that, but he was shaken up. He had to get walked off of the field. And they already didn't have Ty Johnson, so it was pretty tough in that one. But also Gabe Davis ended up having a season-ending. He had a season-ending injury there. I believe it was ACL.
ACL.
Okay, I didn't get to look at that report, but when you looked at it, I knew exactly what it was, and I was like, that did not look good at all. So they had some major injuries, and they were still able to come away with this win. But the Jaguars did not let it go easily. Okay, so Buffalo's defense only got 1 sack. 3 QB hits and 3 tackles for a loss. They didn't make it easy, but Shaq Thomas ended up getting an interception, and Cole Bishop, and wanted to seal the deal at the end of the game for Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence went 18 for 30. Doesn't look really good, but 18 for 30, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a sack. They ran the ball very efficiently. Travis Etienne, 10 for 67. Bashal Tutin, 4 for 51. Trevor Lawrence, 6 for 31. And they were able to run the ball 23 for 154 yards collectively, but 12 targets went to Parker Washington. He went 7 receptions for 107 yards and a touchdown. Travis Etienne went 5 targets for 5 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown. Brian Thomas hauled in both of his receptions, 2 for 21 and a touchdown. Devin Lloyd ended up jumping on one of the fumbles that had, transpired on the Jaguars offense, but Jaguars couldn't really. It was weird. They couldn't really get a sack. They couldn't, 1 tackle for a loss, no pass deflections in this game, and only 3 QB hits. Right, but what they did do is they put a lot of pressure on him. They were hitting him. They were not making him comfortable. And even when Josh Allen kind of came into that touchdown area, he hyperextended his leg. They realized that front 4 that Jacksonville has are bullies. Like, he ran into a wall and realized that there's somebody bigger than me. Holy moly. So that I was very impressed by Jacksonville's defense the first half. Just 27-24, another game, 3-point game, you know what I mean? Very close. And Bills move on. So
yeah, they definitely proved that they belong too. So they're on the right path. They made the big splash move in the offseason to get Travis Hunter. He's been out for the season. They make the move for Jacoby Myers. But yeah, with Liam Cohen, is getting the most out of Trevor Lawrence right now, and the team is showing it. It's showing it belongs. You add some more pieces in the offseason. Pretty excited. If I was a Jacksonville fan, I'd be stoked for the next 2026 season. So
yeah, and you don't even have Travis Hunter there.
Right. He's only going to come back, and maybe we'll find a position for him to play, and he can focus on that. We'll see. But let's go to the next major upset. With the San Francisco 49ers were visiting the Philadelphia Eagles and walked away with a dub. They won 23-19. San Francisco got it done. I mean, Brock Purdy was 18 of 31, 262 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions and was sacked 1 time. But Jawan Jennings was 1 for 1, 29 yards and a touchdown. It was absolute beautiful play design where it was kind of like a flea flicker, and then he threw it to Christian McCaffrey on the wheel route in the end zone. Great catch by McCaffrey. Great throw from Jennings. So we're good to see. They couldn't really get anything going on the ground game. They went 25 for 75 as a team with 15 for 48 coming from McCaffrey, 9 for 24 coming from Purdy. But the receiving game, Demarcus Robinson stepped up and led the team. He had 7 targets, 6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. McCaffrey had 8 targets, 6 catches, 66 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kyle Juszczyk was 4 targets, 4 catches, 49 yards. And then Jawan Jennings, 3 targets, 1 catch for 45, and a couple other players caught a pass. Unfortunately, Kittle did tear that Achilles, and he was 1 for 6. But Purdy did end up fumbling. Sky Moore fumbled, but he was able to recover it. But this 49ers defense just, no pressure really. 1 sack, 7 tackles for loss, 3 pass deflections, only 1 quarterback hit. So it's really just the ineptitude of this Philadelphia offense. Jalen Hurts was 20 for 35 for only 168 yards and 1 touchdown. He's averaging less than 5 yards pass, which is just unacceptable in today's NFL.
Yeah.
He was sacked that 1 time. Saquon had a decent game, 26 carries for 106 yards. And then a few other players had some carries, but as a team, they went 36 for 140 with Dallas Goedert scoring the 1 rushing touchdown. But Devonta Smith, he kind of led the team. It was 11 targets, 8 catches, 70 yards. Dallas Goedert also scored through the air, 7 targets, 4 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. Saquon was 6 targets, 3 catches, 25 yards. A.J. Brown, 7 targets, 3 catches, 25 yards. And I know he had a couple brutal drops in this game, but as a team, this Philadelphia offense scored 6 points between the third and fourth quarters. 19, obviously, the total throughout the game. In comparison, you had the Niners score 13 in just the fourth quarter. So this Philadelphia defense kind of did not, live up to that. They got the 2 picks from Quinyon Mitchell, but they only had 1 sack coming from Jalen Carter, 3 tackles for loss, 5 pass deflections, only hit the quarterback twice. So, got a lot of questions in Philly. We need to figure out this offense. And, it's for the 5th straight year. They're going to be figuring out who's going to be calling plays. But, they got so much talent. Now we got to put it together and figure it out. But Niners move on.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure it out because Philadelphia has this high standard now, and they are not living up to it this year. So there's been a lot of volatility in that, on that team. What defense is going to show up at times, and all of a sudden you'll have a standout defense that looks like a Super Bowl defense, or I want the ball because they're not passing. They're running the ball, and the running the ball ain't working. But now all of a sudden they can pass the ball to A.J. Brown for well over 100, 150 yards, and it's like, where was this? And then all of a sudden they can come out flat again. So they need to ship shape, and they need to find out how to get back to what made their engine tick in the Super Bowl. So they need to find that out again.
It looked like the entire offense is predicated around running the ball, hitches, and comebacks. It just like they had no, different type of route concepts. It just seemed like it was just here's a couple plays we're going to run. And then, how many times this year did they not complete a pass in the second half? Like, I think it was long overdue. Patullo is high on Sirianni's list, and he's well regarded by him, but this offense just was not it. So, I think it's a smart move for the organization, and we'll see where they go from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the Patriots hosting the Los Angeles Chargers, which seemed like that Los Angeles wasn't charged at all. Okay, where the Patriots scored 16, and Los Angeles only took 3. So Patriots took a W at home. Not a high-scoring game. This was a very, very good defensive game. Very disciplined on the defensive side on both ends here. So let's go over to the Justin Herbert side, where he went 19 for 31, 159 yards, got sacked 6 times in this game. Okay, they were able to run the ball. Justin Herbert 10 for 57. Kamani Vidal 11 for 31, and Omarion Hampton had -1 yard. So it just was not working out there. 8 targets went to Keenan Allen. He hauled in 3 for 25. 4 targets went to Lad McConkey. He went 3 for 32. And Oronde Gadsden, 3 for 30. So nobody on the Chargers had more than 3 receptions. This Patriots defense was absolutely great. Gonzalez, the cornerback, Christian Gonzalez, was a monster in this game. Justin Herbert had 2 fumbles. He lost one. Kamani Vidal ended up jumping on one, and Deshaun Hand ended up jumping on another. But this Los Angeles defense was able to get 5 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss, and 5 QB hits. So they were looking good. They had an interception in this game, but Drake May was actually having a little bit of a tough time as well. So let's go over to his side. Even though his stats look decent, 17 for 29, 268 yards, and a touchdown and an interception. He was also sacked 5 times. So, but they ran the ball a lot better. So Drake May, when he was using his legs, he went 10 for 66. Ramondre Stevenson went 10 for 53, and Travion Henderson went 9 for 27. So collectively 29 for 146 on the ground. And Ramondre Stevenson actually led the team with the yards here, 3 for 75 with 4 targets. And Kayshon Boutte hauled in 4 of his 4 targets for 66 yards. And Hunter Henry hauled in 3 out of his 5 targets for 64 yards and a touchdown. But Drake May actually fumbled it twice as well, lost it. Christian Ellis picked one up that was fumbled. Jared Wilson picked up the one that was fumbled. But this New England defense was 6 sacks, 6 tackles for a loss, 11 QB hits. They were just getting at him. They were getting at Herbert so badly. They were bullying the heck out of him. Like he could not set his feet. Every time he was trying to look around, you would see another guy just blitz. The scheme, if you looked at it from the sky view, was a perfect scheme. They were hiding guys and then popping right into the middle, right into that B gap or that A gap, right, depending on how they schemed it. And it just looked flawless. Vrabel did his thing. He knew what he was up against, and he didn't let this team do anything that they wanted to do. He stopped it right in its tracks, and I love the way that he communicates with his team. I love the way he communicates with this defense. He is a player's coach. You can tell he cares. You can tell the players have respect for him, and well-deserved to hold the Chargers to 3 points at home in their first playoff game and move on to the next round. So
yeah, they had Herbert in a blender. I mean, they were throwing crazy different coverages that they had never seen before. And yeah, like you said, I mean, Vrabel has the utmost respect of the entire locker room, of the entire league. He got it done as a player, and now he's getting it done as a coach when he was with Tennessee, and now when he's been with New England. So New England's a scary team. I don't want to hear anything about the schedule or any of that crap. Like they're a dangerous team. He's one of the best play callers and one of the best like preparers for these games. So New England's going to make some noise. They're going to be dangerous down the stretch. So,
yeah.
But yeah, let's go to the final wild card game, which could also coincide with Aaron Rodgers' final game. Maybe we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, what a game! This is just one of those weird drunk Monday night games. It was 7-6 for 90% of the game. I'm not going to do the thing that all the kids are doing. 7-6 for majority of the game. Okay,
that's why
you ain't catching me slipping on this. But
you ain't catching Uncle C Dub. They ain't having.
No, not today, not today. But Houston ended up winning 30-6, scoring 23 points in the fourth quarter. But let's start with Houston. I mean, CJ Stroud, 21 of 32, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, was sacked 3 times. But this run game, Pittsburgh continues to struggle getting any type of stop on defense when it comes to running the ball. Woody Marks, 19 for 112 and a touchdown. Nick Chubb was 10 for 48. As a team, they went 31 for 164 and that 1 touchdown. But Christian Kirk, monster game, 9 targets, 8 catches, 144 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Higgins, 4 targets, 3 catches, 39. Xavier Hutchinson, 4 targets, 2 catches, 21. Nico Collins did leave the game with a concussion, but he had 7 targets, 3 catches, 21 yards. And a couple of tight ends caught some passes as well. But this is strange. I mean, CJ Stroud ended up fumbling the ball 5 times, lost 2 of them, recovered 3 of them. Like, what? You fumbled 5 times and threw a pick and won the game? That's
Yeah,
incredible. Like, no wonder Tomlin stepped away. Like, that's embarrassing. But this Houston defense, man, like what we've been hyping this thing up all year. They're absolutely incredible. 4 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 4 pass deflections, 12 quarterback hits, 2 defensive touchdowns. One was a fumble recovery from Sheldon Rankins. One was pick 6 from Kalen Bullock. And they have obviously a good kicker as well. But man, like Houston, they basically won because of their defense. They were getting 0 help from the offense outside of Christian Kirk and Woody Marks. So CJ Stroud will need to play better to continue to move on. But Texans get their first playoff win in, I believe, franchise history. So congrats to Houston. That's big time.
Absolutely. Congrats to Houston because they well deserved. So.
Now let's go to Pittsburgh, where Aaron Rodgers is our last memory of Rodgers throwing that pick 6. Maybe. He went 17 of 33, 146 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick, was sacked 4 times. Mason Rudolph came in and threw a pass for 2 yards. Yippee-ki-yay, Rudolph. But Pittsburgh rushing team, they went 18 for 63 on the ground, 12 for 43 coming from Warren, 6 for 20 coming from Kenneth Gainwell. And then this receiving, DK Metcalf, 5 targets, only got 2 catches for 42. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 5 targets, 3 catches, 26. Kenneth Gainwell got 6 targets, 4 catches, 26 yards. Adam Thielen, who just recently announced his retirement, 2 targets, 2 catches, 25 yards. And then nothing else of note, unless you want to talk about Jonnu Smith getting 2 catches for -1 yards. But on the Pittsburgh side, you had Aaron Rodgers fumbled twice, lost 1 of them. TJ Watt, Mason McCormick, and Yaha Black also recovered fumbles because everyone was having the ball on the ground. But this Pittsburgh defense, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 6 pass deflections, only 3 quarterback hits, and that 1 interception. So tough way to go out for Pittsburgh. They won off that missed kick. So I don't know if Baltimore would have been any better being in this game, but sad way for the Pittsburgh offense to go out, but it is what it is. Houston moves on, and Pittsburgh's got new leadership now. So
yeah, I mean it kind of stinks to see them. I would have liked to see maybe one last run. You know what I'm saying? Just to see somebody make that, an old man last run. I guess that's the way I want to put it. You know what I'm saying? And knowing now what we know is the fact that Tomlin was going to be out. Like, you kind of wanted to see that as well. So. But
I mean, this is really the Jets' fault because you guys kind of wasted 2 years of Rodgers' life. So
you're welcome. We ruin everybody's lives. Dude, if I was on the team, they would have ruined my life. Okay, so but
you're not on the team, and I feel like you're still ruined.
Dodged a maybe I didn't dodge a bullet. All right. But I mean, look, we got some exciting, very, very exciting matchups coming up. So, which we will get into next episode. But we wanted to go over the recap and all of the news today. But we hope you guys are ready because tomorrow we will be having a crazy episode of predictions, and it's going to get wild. It's going to get crazy. But until that time, make sure that you guys follow us at Top Dog Coverage on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Swipe up. Leave the 5 stars on Apple and Spotify, and make sure that you guys go to topdogcoverage.com. Go have some fun on the website. All right. Let us know that you guys want to hear from us in a newsletter. We got a couple more newsletters coming out before we change up the format just a little bit as the season is slowly coming to an end, but we still have some real exciting news that's happening now. So make sure you guys visit us, topdogcoverage.com, and email us, topdogcoverage@gmail.com, if you guys want to tell us some of your stories, football stories, fantasy football.
Yeah, give us your Super Bowl predictions too. I want to know what everyone's thinking out there. Who does everybody have winning the ship? Are we going Boomer Bo? Are we going Josh Allen? Are we going Brock Purdy? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Who you got winning the ship?
Well, let us know, and we'll let you know that we got what you wanted us to know for sure.
So we know, and you
So
know
we know.
that we all know.
And that's it. That's all we got. We all we got. Peace.